Hey, everybody. On this episode of the Live Changed podcast, we sit down with Jason Mitchell, the new senior pastor of LCBC Church. Through questions from staff and attendees, we're going to get an exclusive window into the life and heart of our new senior pastor like never before. So take a seat and join the conversation right now. My name is Chad. I'll be the host on this podcast, and I'll also be joined by my co-host and good friend, Joanna Wishard. Joanna, hi.
Hi.
Really excited because your presence makes this not a bro club with Jason and I, so I'm really excited for your perspective.
Excited to be here.
And Jason, you're our special guest here today, but also something really cool is you've kind of promised that you'll try to be on the podcast as much as you humanly can, because I think you're going to bring some wisdom and some perspectives to some really cool topics on this. And I was looking at the content we're going to cover over the next couple of weeks, and it is really exciting. So like some of the things we're going to talk about is we're talking about mental health. We're going to talk about change. We're going to talk about Bible reading. We're also going to talk about things like cancel culture and echo chambers of belief. And like, it's going to be cool stuff. So I can't wait. And I'm glad that you gave us your time here today.
Absolutely.
The first question that was a burning question people wanted to know is, what the heck is up with the Alabama football fandom?
Oh, man. Well, that's easy. It's in my blood, man. I was born in Birmingham, Alabama. And
Isn't that the home of Forrest Gump?
It is.
Is it?
Well, Greenbow, Alabama.
Oh,
which
okay.
is a fictional town, which is filmed in South Carolina. Anyways, we're not going to get into that.
Not that you have any feelings or
I
anything.
don't know.
Did you catch there was an edge to that?
There
Yes,
was
I
an
did.
edge. So I was born in Birmingham, though. And my grandparents, like my grandmother, I called her grandmommy.
Oh.
My grandmommy, she was such a, this is no joke, she was such a huge Alabama fan. Alabama's like main coach, the one who's real famous is Bear, his name is Bear Bryant, Paul Bryant, but his nickname was Bear Bryant. And he won 6 national championships with them. Very successful. And we had in my grandma's house more pictures of Bear Bryant, portraits, hanging up than we did of any family members. And that's not
amazing.
a joke. I have a distinct memory as a boy, like 5 years old, of her taking me to, I think it was Elmwood Cemetery in Birmingham, to his gravesite. It was like a pilgrimage.
Are you serious?
Yes. So I'm just saying. It's
Was she
in
like
my
a little
blood.
old lady at this point? I have this image of this little
That's
old
my
lady.
only image of her as a little old lady.
Like-
She was probably 45, but you know when you're 6, you're like, that dude's ancient. And he's like 41.
Oh, that's so sad.
So, but no. So it was, my point is, it was just in our blood. And if you're born in Alabama too, you decide it's Auburn or Alabama. Like it's just a different thing.
So it's like a Harry Potter sorting hat kind of thing.
like,
Alabama!
if you throw any Harry Potter references out, I will not understand them.
Oh.
Yeah, ditto on that.
Me neither. That's lame. I don't know what house I'm in. Anyway, actually, we got you a gift.
Oh, really?
Look over on the wall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We got you an Alabama football.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love that.
Yeah, because we know you're super huge Alabama fan.
Oh, man, that
I
means a
drove
lot to
all
me.
the way down there.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
It was a long drive. The gas mileage was like crazy. No, actually, that came from Joanna and I shopping.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. At thrift store. It looks like the
Sure.
kind of thing you get at a thrift store,
thrift
but
store of Amazon.
nice. Yeah, okay.
Joanna, do you want to tell them what happened when we were actually shopping on Amazon for our set?
Let's just say everything online looked a lot bigger than when it did when it got to us.
There is a radio on that shelf that's made for a keychain that we thought was a full-size radio.
That's hilarious.
Who knew that you can't buy a full-size radio for $20 on Amazon?
I don't know that people really are looking for full-size radios anymore.
I don't think you and I actually looked at the specs.
Sure.
Eagles fan then?
I got baptized into the Eagles fandom when I lived out in Montgomery County for 5.5, 6 years.
Holy.
You can't be out there and not be an Eagles fan.
Okay.
Those were really good years. I was out there 2013 to, 2018, the end of 2018, basically. Those were really good years. Well, there were some tough years for Eagles fans, but that's when we won the Super Bowl and all that.
Nice.
So they were good years too.
I-
This is a good year for the Eagles.
It is a good year for the Eagles.
So we'll see. You know
Yeah.
why? Because they've got Alabama boys. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson. That's why.
So
That's my theory.
So you actually follow players from
I
Alabama.
follow the Alabama players who go in the NFL. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are a fan. Okay. Next question. This one I'm excited about. What is a boiled peanut?
Oh. It's literally what it says it is. It is a peanut that's boiled. So if that's at this most surface level.
But it's not something like in Pennsylvania, you go to the Weiss markets, the Giant, the whatever, you're not going to get boiled peanuts.
No, you're not. They're predominantly down south. Well, they're obviously predominantly down south, I guess, but because that's where peanuts are grown. And people will set up on the side of the road like little tents. I mean, like little huts, little hutches,
peanut huts.
yeah, exactly. And they'll boil the peanuts. You can put seasoning in it and all that, and you boil them for long. So you take a raw peanut, like really out of the ground, and it can't be cooked and all that or seasoned or whatever. And then you put it in, you boil it, you season it, and then like people season it with Old Bay. Some people season it with Cajun. Some people just plain, whatever. Anyways, and then they'll sell them by the pound, and they taste like. It's an experience. If you ever get a chance to get a boiled peanut, you should get one.
Okay.
And people love them or hate them. There's definitely no in between on this one.
Well, I don't think there's any better time than why don't we try some now?
I would love that. You have some?
I actually have a surprise for you.
There's so many good surprises today.
So I again. When
have you had one?
Not yet.
Joanna, have you?
No, never.
Oh man, this is great.
See, not
We'll
yet.
see.
But when I drove down to Alabama to get your football, I stopped
while you were down there.
at a peanut hut.
At Hank's Peanut Hut.
Okay, so I found cans
All right.
can't.
of boiled peanuts.
This will count. Peanut
I already
patch.
told Chad at the start of this podcast, are you going to make me eat a bunch of weird stuff? And he's like, no, just this one time. We're going to eat boiled
There's
peanuts out of
original.
cans.
Hold on.
What is this? Where did you get this?
I got this thing.
Oh my goodness, that looks legit.
Yeah, that's
That's
gross.
a bag of peanuts.
Yeah, that is they're hyperbolically sealed.
Huh.
So you can take this home to the family. So we're gonna.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's for you, buddy.
Jenny, by the way, I like boiled peanuts a ton. Jenny loves them. So, I mean, she'll fill up her Santa Claus mugs with these things.
And then
pound
while
them.
I was on, I got a little crazy.
Good gracious,
I
Chad,
also
how much more do you have?
I also bought Uncle Bud's Cajun deep fried peanuts.
Never had a deep fried peanut.
So we're gonna try
Are
deep
we
fried
gonna eat
peanuts.
these
too.
now?
Yeah, we're gonna eat them. Why not? Okay, we're gonna eat them right now. Let's. Should we open one of these cans?
Yeah, I'm kind of self-conscious about doing that into the mic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We probably shouldn't eat the whole time. Maybe just real quick.
Just one peanut.
Real quick, and because
Sure, real
Joanna's
quick.
really excited.
Joanna, do you
about
want
this.
original or Cajun?
I think I'll go original. I don't know if.
I'm
What
gonna
if I
hope-
can't
Can't handle.
handle Cajun?
I'm gonna try Cajun.
You probably won't be able to handle original. I'm just going to be frank.
Oh,
to be
really?
honest with you.
Why? What's original? Is it?
Well, I'm just saying.
It-
Most
Like, you
people
mean-
hate boiled peanuts. I'm just going to shoot
Oh
straight
gosh,
with
you guys, they're in water.
Yeah, they're boiled, Joanna.
Did you think it was just going to be just
I
an
thought they were
empty
gonna-
can of peanuts?
I
Look,
thought
look,
they were
look,
going to
these
boil them and then take them out of the water.
No, you got to keep them. You got to keep them marinating.
That's disgusting.
And I'm not going to tell you what the consistency they have. All right, I just want you.
I'm just.
I want you-
I'm reaching in.
Guys,
Joanna,
I don't
hand
want
that
to
to Joanna.
play.
Am I supposed to crack the shell?
Yes, don't eat the shell. Hand that to Joanna. Hand that one. That's the no, that plain one.
Oh, there you
She
go.
wants a plain. She's very
I
excited
don't.
about that.
Want is not what I said.
I'll try Cajun.
Here you go. Let's try some.
Oh, guys,
some
they
Cajun.
smell weird.
Okay, so
Ooh, yeah, it smells like
oh,
beef and vinegar.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, those of you who are watching online on YouTube, what you don't know is the whole studio has marinated in the smell of boiled peanuts.
Okay, crack the peanut shell open like you just did.
Okay, got
Good,
it.
Chad.
Got it.
Joanna, go ahead.
I'm trying.
This
oh,
smell-
it's squished.
Yeah, it'll squish. This smell will be on your fingers for about 3 days.
It smells like fish. It has a definite.
Oh,
Interesting.
why are we saying words?
Okay, are you ready? It
smells like low
I
tide.
have
Oh,
the tiniest.
that's
I have
a
the tiniest
sliver.
nibble.
that is
All right, you ready?
ready.
All
Here
right,
we
go.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's good.
That's not bad. I actually kind of like
Oh,
that.
I hate
You like
everything
it?
about that.
Are you serious, Joanna?
That's
Are
good.
you serious?
Yes, I'm very serious.
I think I'm a fan of boiled peanuts. Who knew?
Chad, that's what I love about you. You're adventurous.
I think I'm southern.
That's good.
I think I'm
I
actually
feel like
southern.
the threshold for adventure is not whether you like boiled peanuts or not.
Oh, I almost spilled all this.
Okay.
That was interesting.
So we-
hey, thank you guys. That was good.
Yeah, so these are
Oh,
for
Jenny's
Jenny.
gonna be so excited about this. Jenny's dad makes them homemade. Like he'll make them for her. It's very sweet.
Are you
Like
serious?
when we're back home. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. This is from Texas. so
I
they make
remember
them there, too.
Jenny's dad's an interesting guy. Jason, what we didn't say is you and I have been friends for about 20 years now. Like, so
That's heavy, man.
I know.
This boiled, this
By the way, you're welcome.
pounds. That's 7.5 pounds, Chad.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. Well, I didn't want to scrimp.
Oh,
They also came in like truckloads.
I just flared up my tendonitis. I'm trying to pick that thing up.
By the way,
Things you say when you're over 40.
my Amazon is all messed up now because I ordered all of this.
Oh,
this
you've got
stuff.
a bunch of weird stuff in your feed.
Yeah, it keeps wanting to sell me whole gators,
Gators.
like an entire alligator.
alligator?
Yeah, like a whole ready to cook alligator. They're like,
Wow.
if you like boiled peanuts, you like whole.
If you like
gator.
Alabama football and boiled peanuts,
exactly.
you'll love some
Slippery
alligator.
slope.
Yeah, it's like, and it's like from different vendors. Like, there's more than one person selling gator on Amazon.
So what are things that you like to do for fun? Your family? What does that look like for you guys?
Being together, honestly. I mean, it's funny. I guess people always say, I mean, I feel like I read a lot, like you need a hobby and all that kind of stuff. And I'm assuming that's true. But I just feel like I've got a 16, soon to be 17-year-old, a 13, within a couple of weeks will be 14, and a 4-year-old. Well, when you've got those ages, like that's your hobby. And I love it. Like I wouldn't change a thing about it. We spend a lot of time together, go to basketball games with Sienna to see school play. I've never played video game. Like I haven't played video games since I was like 12, right? But Silas, who's my 13-year-old, he's real into video games. So I'm going to meet him where he's at and I'll play video games with him, Rocket League and stuff like that. And then Solomon is just tractors. It's interesting as your kids get older, by the way, when they're younger, you just have them tag along in everything you do. And then as they get older, they develop their own interest and you've got to kind of make a conscious decision as a parent that you're going to do the things that they are interested in because you can't force their interest anymore. Yeah. And it feels like you're wasting time. That's what it's going to feel like. At least it has for me. Like it's going to feel like you're wasting time or you're doing things or whatever. So but the payoff is you're meeting them where they are. So, you got to figure that out as your kids get older, where their interest taking them. And you just got to you got to follow them there. Actually, a friend of mine once told me, he said, the best parenting advice he ever got was follow the giggles.
Mm.
Oh man.
Wherever the giggles are, keep doing that.
Yeah.
Now, I think when they're little, that's kind of an obvious sort of like, what's bringing them joy and all that. Obviously, when they're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, they're not giggling anymore. But the same principle is follow them where their interests are taking them. Just follow them there.
Wow,
Yeah, my 7-year-old Finn, he got a Marvel encyclopedia for Christmas. Like, I swear this thing is like heavier than he is. Mm. And so every day he's just sitting down. And he's like, hey, will you read this superhero like bio or whatever? I have no idea what we're talking about. Yep. And he's like, oh, but mom, then this one goes with this one. That goes with this one. I'm like, cool. So it's like, yeah, I feel that. We're in that season.
That's following the giggles. Yeah.
I'm like, good. I cannot keep up with you, but I will read with you because you still want to sit on my lap, and that's really cute.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I like about what you said is it's for you as a parent, it's not always about your interest. I think sometimes we expect our kids to join our interests or nothing. And so sometimes it's about, because I imagine you're not overwhelmingly interested in video games, but...
I'm not. And sometimes what's interesting too as a parent, at least I struggle with this, is things that they're interested in early on, they shift. And so what happens is, I'll give you a good example. My daughter, Sienna, was interested in basketball very early on. And so we kept doing that. But there comes a point where she wasn't, and you kind of got to read the signs. Mm. You got to read and be a little bit intuitive and kind of read into that they're not that interested anymore or whatever. What happens, though, I think sometimes is we just I'm going to keep making her do basketball. Mm-hmm. And now she's in high school and I'm toting her around to all these things. And she gave up on not gave up in the sense of quitting, but more like moved on from that. But I didn't. Mm-hmm. And so now it's like, here's my point. It can appear that you're doing all the things they're interested in, but you never really listen to, are they interested in it? You just assume it because they were at one point or whatever. And then it becomes more about your forcing the issue a little bit.
I get it.
So.
No, I get it. Like, Joanna, how old are your kids?
Yeah. So we have a 7-year-old Finn And then we have a 2-year-old Junia.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I have two as well. I have a 14-year-old named Olivia, and I have a 10-year-old named Parker. And what's interesting is Olivia, same story, except it wasn't with basketball. It was dance. She had danced for 10 years. And then all of a sudden she was like, I'm done. And I was like, oh, we're done? Because it was like our whole family. Like I was like, I have like a mortgage payment of costumes upstairs. What are we doing? And I realized that I was like, I think I was excited about where she was going to go with dance and stuff, and she was done. So
it's hard because sometimes it's like, okay, you got to dig. That's the point. Because why are you done seeing it with basketball? You know, Olivia, why are you done with? And if it's just because it's hard, you may need to push through that. Like there might be that you just got to dig, and I think that's the point. Dig a little bit deeper, and your kids will tell you. You got to read into it a little bit and read between the lines. But if it's just because, like, hey, man, my interests have moved on, then don't force it.
Oh, that's good. I think there's a lot of parents that live vicariously through their kids, though. Yeah. Do you see that?
Yeah. Yes. And I got to be careful because, again, my personality, competitiveness, I like sports a lot. I mean, all those kinds of things. And if I'm not careful, I can find myself trying to push my kids to be more competitive or to enjoy certain things that I enjoy. And that is a way of me trying to live through them, I think, and force them into my image instead of letting them be their own.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like some of that too. It's funny because I feel like even with Finn, we tried piano lessons a couple of years back. And some of it too, I feel like, so my husband, Kevin, and I, like, we talk a lot about like, well, how can we give him opportunities that we didn't have the chance. And so I also feel like we're in this season where it's like, hey, dude, you can try like whatever, like we want you to know, hey, it's the piano or it's, he does baseball and soccer, but without us trying to, again, like kind of push into like, you have to stay with it or you have to do it, or this is going to take, like, I'm going to take on some of that identity when still, I think we're in that wrestle of like, hey, we also want to make sure we're giving you all the options. And then how do we talk about like, what are the right options for our family? And so, I think it's like a very much a family conversation to make sure you're in the right kind of niche, not only for your kid, but then also kind of like for your family rhythms. That's hard.
Well, I think for me, I didn't have some of the athletic opportunities, or I wasn't as good, or I just didn't try. And so one of the things that I tend to do is I watch my daughter excelling at sports, and all of a sudden I'm part of a club that I wasn't a part of before.
Oh, yeah.
And it can be real insidious if
now you feel like connected, or
all of a sudden I'm like, part of the athletes
right
at 42. I'm like, like we're doing really good this year, and and that's where I got to be like, this is her thing, and I'm going to support her and cheer her on and stuff, but it's not my thing. And I'm dad off the racetrack.
That's good.
Well, you didn't mention beekeeping. So
I do have that.
I was kind of interested in hearing a little bit more about your beekeeping hobby.
I started
You just scooched past beekeeping. We said, what's your interesting hobby?
We got down that parenting rabbit hole, which was good.
Yeah, it was good, but beekeeping.
Yeah, I do have a hive. I have a colony of bees, and I love it. They're fascinating. And we could fill a whole episode of beekeeping, of bees. They're one of the most fascinating organisms. You guys want to talk about bees?
What's the biggest bee mistake you've made so far? I have to know.
Oh, getting into the hive like a day before I was going to preach, because one stung me on my face, and then it looked like
oh my gosh.
It looked like one half of my face was Balloon Man and the other was normal. It stung me right under my eye.
So
my eye was like swelling shut.
I think that eventually goes away, right? Like it
does.
You just keep getting stung and it gets better every time.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. I haven't actually gotten stung a ton. I only got stung 3 times this whole year. But one of them was right before, and it stung me in my eye, or right by my eye. And my eye started swelling shut. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. 24 hours from now, I'm going to stand in front of a lot of people and they're going to puke.
So why beekeeping? Like that, it's one thing to
They're
be
fascinating.
interested in. Yes, I find I find dolphins fascinating, Jason. But there's not a dolphin in my tub. Like
Maybe a gator.
yeah, eventually. But like, why beekeeping?
Well, you know what? Okay, so I've been interested in bees for a long time, like 15 years. I've talked about them, and I got really into them 15 years ago and didn't pull the trigger, but I just started like studying them. So then years go, I don't really think about it again. And then last January, we had an event here at the church, and we had some people in for this event. It's a real nice event, and we had this person come in and help provide some of the food and all this kind of stuff. And on the way out, we put a little jar of honey. We gave that as a gift to people. And so I talked to the person who had put all this together, and I was like, hey, where'd you get the honey? And she said, it's my honey. And I said, oh, I love honey, for one. I was like, and I thought about beekeeping at some point, yada, yada. We started this conversation, and then she was like, oh man, you got to do it. I was like, well, it's just too hard. She's like, it's not hard. She's like, it takes hardly any time. So for the next 30 minutes, she just basically sales pitched me on it. And the next day I went and bought a hive and all that. Because I was like, I'm doing it.
What are the astronomical odds that a man interested in beekeeping runs into a fellow beekeeper and she sells you on beekeeping? I've never met a beekeeper in my life until just now.
Oh, you have. You don't know it. They're out there.
I feel like I ran into Jason after this whole thing, and he tried to make me a beekeeper.
I
He was like, just wait. He's like, if it's not you, let me get to Kevin. Like,
Yes,
I'll
I
convince
did.
you all to have a hive in the city.
Yes.
We
You
don't
can.
have a hive in the city, just for the record.
But you
We're
could.
not there yet.
Do you have your own honey?
A lot of times you don't get honey the first year. You let the honey stay on the hive for the bees to eat. Contrary to what a lot of people believe, a friend of mine, she thought until like a few weeks ago, bees made honey for us. And I was like, no, they're not. We steal it. They're making the honey for themselves to live on. Yeah, they're not just a benevolent species. Let's make honey for the humans.
You're welcome, humans.
Yeah. So anyways.
And cows also make the milk for us,
for
too.
us. It's all for us.
You're welcome. Enjoy that cereal.
Yeah. So anyways, what were we talking about? How was I getting on this? So anyways, the first
honey.
year, so you don't want to, see, they've got to then, they store all that honey in their hive to get through the winter.
Okay.
Their whole idea is that, they got about 4 months. They can't go out. Nothing's blooming or anything. So they can't go out. And so that's why they store honey, is to survive as a colony, to ensure their survival. So I left all the honey on this year. I didn't harvest any, which means though that this coming year, I already kind of have all that. We have a real head start. So I should get truckloads of honey. I'm going to bring some to you guys.
Oh.
We can chew honeycomb on the show.
Would you do that?
Yeah, that would sound horrible in a mic.
That's
it would.
also a bad episode of ASMR.
Ooh, yeah.
So you're gonna like have your own little jars and stuff like that.
I think so.
That's
I don't know.
kind of awesome. Tell me something. Best book you've read recently?
Best book I've read recently is Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortlund.
Oh, that's in my Amazon cart.
Yeah.
Mine's Gator. Thanks. This is great. You both are like educating yourselves, and I'm getting like Uncle Zeke's Gator offers. So
I know.
So tell us about this book.
So it just made me, this is going to sound weird. It just made my heart respond to Jesus, and it brought Jesus' love for us alive in different ways. And he just had a way of writing about the heart of God for the lost and broken. And he basically, his idea is that there's only one time in all of the New Testament that Jesus actually describes himself. There's lots of times where others describe Jesus. You're the Messiah. You're the Son of God. You're the healer. You're the forgiver, right? But there's only one time where Jesus says, let me tell you who I am. And it's in Matthew 11, and he says, come to me, all you who are heavy burdened, for I am gentle and lowly. In other words, I'm humble at heart, some translations say, humble at heart. So the way Jesus describes himself is gentle and lowly. And so he just explores the heart of God. It was really a beautiful book, and it just made my heart, I don't know, man, made me just love Jesus more. I don't know how to describe it. Like you just kind of fall in the sense of like, oh man, I know what you've done for me, Jesus. Thank you. So.
Wow.
That's awesome.
What was the book's title again?
Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortlund.
In case anyone wants to get it.
Yeah.
Now, what if they want to get your book? You actually wrote a book.
I did. Yeah. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon.
What was that called, and what was that?
That book was No Easy Jesus, and the subtitle was How the Toughest Choices Lead to the Greatest Life. And basically what I was trying to do in that book is push people past sort of this easy believism, kind of this idea that Jesus exists just to make your life better. Jesus will make your life better, but it's counterintuitive how that happens. The way Jesus makes your life better is not you just sit back and it's not like he's catering to you. The way Jesus makes our life better is we reorient our lives under his rule and reign. He's the king. And as you do that, you begin to understand what you were truly made for. So I talk about choices we're going to have to make that are very tough choices, counterintuitive choices, like to live generously or to exercise compassion or to pursue sexual purity. All these things, they're counterintuitive, and yet if you do them, the promise is life, which is what Jesus said, I've come to give you life and life to the full. But it feels like dying to something in order to find that life. Jesus even said, like, you're going to have to pick up your cross and you're going to have to follow me. It's going to feel like you die to something, and you do. But what you get on the other side of that is a fullness and richness of life that you could not experience any other way. That's the faith. That's the trust. That's like, I'm going to have faith that that's true. That's where faith comes in. So that's what the book is about.
Wow.
Are you one of those people that count how many books you read in a year? I feel like, I don't know, a lot of my friends on Instagram are like, I'm on book 102 for the year. And so part of me is like, how are you possibly reading 102 books? But yeah, like, do you have any, how avid of a reader are you?
I keep a list. I've kept a list since 2019 because that year I set a goal for whatever. And so I just kept a list. And then I've kept a running list every year since then. I'm a pretty avid reader. But as far as finishing, like completing, like this last year, I probably read 22 books, something like full. But then there's a lot of reading that I'm doing that are just, what's the word, articles or more like reference kinds of stuff as well.
That's cool.
I love reading about presidents. I love reading about, I've gotten really into presidents. So I got really into Washington. But there's so much leadership stuff there with the presidents. Read this last year, Reagan, Truman, I don't know who else. There's one other I was just thinking of that I can't remember now, but U.S. Grant. So I don't know. I like reading that kind of stuff too.
Do you read fiction, or is it all?
I don't read any fiction.
Okay.
No, and I used to feel bad about that until finally someone was like, "Yeah, so what? You don't like fiction?" It was an author, and I don't know why that was so empowering to me.
You're like, I can make my own choices. Yes. I don't have to read that.
Yes. This is like 10 years ago. I was like, I know that I should probably expand and read more. She's like, why? Don't read it. If you don't like it, don't read it. Read what you like.
I heard it said once that every one of us, the only thing that's going to make us different in a year is the people we meet and the books we read. So,
which makes sense. I mean, one is shaping your ideas. I mean, they're both shaping really how you think.
Yeah. And
how you think informs how you act. Yeah.
So, if we have anybody making comments on YouTube, what I'd love to see is like if someone wants a copy of your book, I'd love to gift it to them.
Yeah.
So leave us a comment. We'll take one of those comments on YouTube if you want a copy of Jason's book, because it's a really great book, and we'll go ahead and we'll send that to you. So
cool.
So tell me something. So like you're a pastor. But it actually runs in the family, right? Isn't your dad a pastor?
Yeah, that's true. And my grandfather. So my mom's father was a pastor. Then my dad grew up Catholic. When he was 16, I believe, he went to a Protestant church And that was the first time he had really ever heard the gospel. I mean, really ever heard that Jesus makes a personal relationship with God possible. That concept was foreign to him. And he responded and gave his life to Christ. And my mom's family was very influential, because my mom's dad, my papa, was a pastor and was real helpful and influential in him beginning to grow. And so, anyways, my grandfather was a pastor, and then my dad was a pastor. Oh. Still is, I should say.
So you are literally third generation.
Mm-hmm.
Christian.
That was not what I thought was going to be the case.
What did you think you were going to do?
I would have had probably a list of 100 things that would have been before pastor growing up.
So it wasn't an expectation. It wasn't your dad was.
My mom and dad were incredibly good at protecting us from unreasonable expectations that someone would have about pastors' kids that you wouldn't have about anyone else. You know what I mean? So they were really good about that. They protected us from that kind of stuff. So no, there weren't any.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you get people who will come up to you when you're a kid and they'll be like, "Oh, you're going to be the next pastor," or whatever. But you just kind of.
So what led to you choosing this field then?
Well,
if you didn't expect it,
Yeah, I was not walking with God. Like I was not. Even though I grew up in a pastor's home, you got to make a choice. Everybody has to make a choice for themselves at some point about what they're going to do with Jesus. I love that line where Jesus says, "Who do people say that I am?" And his disciples are like, "Well, some say John the Baptist, and some say you're Elijah who's come back, and basically you're a prophet." And Jesus then kind of looks at him and says, "What about you? Who do you say I am?" And Peter pipes up. Peter was the best. He's so impulsive. It's like, when no one else will talk, I will. He couldn't let a moment go by of silence. But I love it. I love it. And he was like, "You're the Messiah. That's who I think you are. You're the Son of God." And here's my point. My bigger point is there comes a point in all of our lives where you have to answer that question. But who do you say I am about Jesus? Not who your mom, not who your dad, not who your grandmother said that I was. Who do you, not even who Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John say I am. Who do you say I am? And I had that moment when I was 19. And again, I think I said I was not walking with God, and I wasn't really even interested. And, but I was miserable, and I was living a very divided life. The definition of, the idea of integrity is, the root of that is integrated, where you're integrated. So whenever you're living one way here and you live another way here, you have one life at home and another life at work. You have one life at school and another life, with over here in the neighborhood. That's a non-integrated life. You can't live very long like that. You weren't made to live like that. And so I felt very divided, and I felt like I'm just miserable. Like I'm not the same person when I act a certain way when I'm around these people and act. So all that to say, I just came to the point where I was like, something has to change. My way's not working. And I knew, because of the foundation that I had been given, I knew that Jesus, his mercy and love and grace was for me. And I had seen people changed. And that is what kind of got me over at the end of the day, I wrestled. I was like, do I really want to follow? Because I knew it was going to mean I had to walk away from some things. So I knew that. And I wasn't sure I wanted to be honest. But I also couldn't deny what I had seen God do. I knew that was true too. And I was like, I need you, Jesus. I'm making a decision. Who do I say you are? You're the Son of God. You're my King. And everything changed after that. It really did. Everything began to change, including my aspirations for my future, what I want to do. I was going to be a basketball coach. My whole idea, or my whole plan, was to be a basketball coach. But God began to redirect that one summer when I went to a summer camp. This is about 6 months after that moment I just told you guys about when I was 19. So now I was 20 and working at the summer camp. And I led a little devotional for a group that was like a group home. They didn't have parents that were waiting to be placed in the foster system, I believe. And I left that little devotional thing I led. I'd never done that before. I never opened up the Bible and tried to help it make sense to people in a way that was move them to follow Jesus and love Jesus more. But after that, I was like, oh man, I want to do that the rest of my life. And I went back and changed my major, and everything changed after that.
Wow.
Vocationally.
Oh. So what's interesting is you said, yeah, everything changed, but it didn't get easier. Hence the reason you wrote the book, No Easy Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it was a magic bullet. Like, I have Jesus now and everything's easy and fun and happy.
No, I had to walk away from some things. There was a cost to some of that. I literally had to move on some. I had to move. So I had to give up. I lost friendships. I had to give up dreams that were my dreams. That's all cost. Like, that's all kind of like a surrendering.
Do you think that's exclusive to vocational ministry, or does every Christian face that?
I think every Christian faces that at some point, because absolutely. Because what you're maybe not in the sense it's going to redirect careers, but if you're going to follow Jesus, I mean, just take this simple example. It means you're going to forgive people. That's what he says, love your enemies and forgive us as we've forgiven those. So, like, let's just take the most simple thing. Following Jesus means you become a forgiving person. Well, there's a cost to that, because that means you have to let go of the right to get back at someone. So you're letting go of something. So from the smallest little things to the biggest things, there is a letting go. But again, the promise is Jesus saying, but believe, have faith that if you do that, I'm going to give you something better.
Isn't there even, Jesus talks about that in like treasure in a field or something?
Yeah. I just thought about that actually when we were talking, that story came to mind, and he tells a parable about the kingdom of God is like, and he's like, it's like a guy who is digging in a field, and suddenly he finds a treasure, and he's like, oh my goodness. And no one knows about this treasure. So he buries it real quick. He kind of keeps it out of sight, out of mind for everybody. Then he goes and is like, how much does this field cost? And they're like, $100. I'm making that up. He's like, oh, okay, I'll buy that field. So then he spends all that he has to buy that field, but he gets the treasure. And I think that's it's like, it's worth giving all you have. Spend it on the field. Just spend it. Just give it, because the treasure you're going to get is way more valuable. Way more valuable.
Well, that'll preach.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, even you saying that moment in your life, like, I instantly thought, so like for me, that was, it would have been Easter 2009. Like, I grew up going to church every Sunday, doing all the things. I mean, with my aunt, we were involved in like all the stuff, right? And so then I went away to school. And so I had said, I moved out to Minnesota and didn't figure out how to do it on my own. And so then it's like, I was halfway across the country from Pennsylvania to Minnesota. And you just figure out how to do life on your own. But if you don't quite know how to put it all back together, it's easy to get it a little wrong, or to not maybe go on the path you would have assumed you would have gone down. And so, I totally remember the moment where it's like a friend invited me to church for an Easter service. And like, it was just this moment of like, you're just like, I don't know. I just remember like my discernment light, like kicked back on, if you will. And it was just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, this is what I've been missing. These are the moments that like I've didn't realize I was missing, but now that I've realized they've been missing, like I got to figure out like how I'm going to make faith my own and what that's going to look like. And I think like those are just some crazy, awesome Holy Spirit moments where it's just like, hey, let me show you, like, still love you, still chasing after you, never left. But it's like, hey, this is a moment where you need to make a decision. Which choice are you making now? And then you just get those little moments. And I don't know, like, I think that I would have never told you I was going into ministry, or that I would even be sitting at this table with you guys today. But it's like, just those little moments. I think that the Spirit just gives you that like discernment light, if you will. That you're like, like this is closer to who you've made me be, which is awesome.
I love that. And part of what I love about that, Joanna, is all Jesus is asking is just, are you willing to take the next step in front of you? You were talking about how you would have never imagined you would be at this here or a minister or whatever it might be. I've obviously would have never thought the same thing about my life. We don't get that. You don't get some master plan for your life.
Totally.
What you get is enough discernment, light, enough light to take the next step. And that's all Jesus is ever asking. You want to take this? You want to take this next step? Trust me with this. And then you take enough of those over time and you're like, oh my goodness, I've come miles. Mm-hmm. And this looks nothing like where I thought I was going to end up.
Totally.
Yeah, that's good.
So we'll go to this is good. Let's talk about the Mitchell house. Okay.
Okay. So
Mitchell house, last disagreement you and Jenny had.
Oh my goodness.
You if you need to filter and go like second to last argument, that's okay. We're not chasing that level of honesty.
Oh man. A disagreement.
Jenny is gonna kill me.
Okay.
Like I'm literally afraid of Jenny right now.
No, I can tell you. I mean, like, no, we're kind of open books on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This morning.
Oh.
Didn't think I was going to say that.
You heard it here first. Okay.
One of our kids needs. You didn't ask me to explain it. You just said when. So there you go.
Oh, what about?
It's in your notes. One of our kids needs some dental work done or whatever, and so Jenny wants to get a second opinion on some things, and we already have him scheduled to get this work done at the end of the month. And I thought what she was saying is, let's put that off and get a second opinion. And I'm sitting there going, no, prioritize that. And if you want to get a second opinion, fine, whatever. It's so many of those little things that we're talking about, but we're just 1 degree off.
Yeah.
And it's like, if we just stop for a second and not let our emotions. So then it becomes like for me. So, I mean, I told her, I went back to her, I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I just feel like I talked real harsh. And kind of like when everybody has their go-tos when you feel like you're not getting anywhere. Some people go to the bully. Some people go to whatever. I can get real passionate and sometimes more than it even warrants, but it's to kind of make my presence felt or get my way if I'm just being honest. And now you're not listening anymore. And if I would just listened, I would realize we're saying the same thing. That's what she said later. Because Jenny is amazing at coming back, way better than I am, at coming back afterwards and going, here's what I think was happening. Because she's really, really in tune and she's really good at sort of processing like, okay, here's what I was feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm not great at that. It just takes me a little bit more time. And she was like, hey, we're on the same team. And man, I'm telling you, if Jenny says that, that's all you need to know. Like at the end of the day, like we want the same thing. We both want him to have great teeth. You know what I mean? So can we agree on that? Yeah. All right. Then all the other things are just, but we tend to, so that's what it was.
What I want to highlight there that you said, Jason, is that I'm taking home. So like my takeaway today is that humility to be able to go to your spouse and say, it's I spoke to you harsh today. Like that ability to go, I was wrong. I think marriage would be significantly better for most of us if we were just able to go to our significant other and say, like, maybe the argument wasn't even, it was pointless. It was silly. And, we think, well, I'll just move on.
Yeah.
But to go back and say, how I responded was wrong.
And to be fair, like, and not to make myself look great, I mean, like, that one was an easy one. When the stakes are a little bit higher and like, I can let too much time go. And, then also it's like, we're way better than we used to be, like Jenny and I. Like, one of the things that the distance is shorter now. And sometimes it's like, I think that's progress between when there's conflict and when there's resolution. Mm-hmm. Progress is, it's within hours now. It used to be within days. It used to be days. So it's like, we're making good progress.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last argument in the Wishart house?
Please say this morning.
Oh, man.
She's like, 2017.
Yeah, exactly. Put us to
No,
shame.
like honestly, ours is even like Kevin and I, ours is probably more with our kids right now. Like we're just in that season of like being tired parents with like a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old who honestly, like they're in totally different phases. Their needs are totally different. They're both kind of exhausting in different ways. And so actually like so much of our conversation is like parenting, like, oh, you coached that moment wrong, or I would have done it this way. Or so anyway, like I feel like we're just in that season of like, we both want to fix it because that's just how we're wired. But we're like wanting to fix it your own way. So then it's like, well, that's not helpful. Like we're the team. Our kids are the things that like need attention right now. If like we're not a team, like forget it. Like they're going to take us over. Like, so I feel like that's probably more of our conversations. And yeah, like just our disagreements around what do we do? And so at the moments you feel like actually we're just grasping at straws to make sure that like we all make it through the other side of this phase. Like that's just when, yeah, like you were saying, like stakes are higher or emotions are higher because there's just more things at play.
And I think, Joanna, that's one of the things you uniquely bring is there's so many people that live in the highlight reels on Instagram and stuff. And what I love about you is you're very, very honest. And you're like, you know something? Being a parent of a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old is not easy. And I think that's something that you're going to share with us along the way on the Live Change podcast is that idea of like, no, this is reality. Whereas most people just get caught up in I wish I had that perfect family that they have. And it's pretty much a lie.
Yeah.
Most of us are, like you said, just trying to get through the day some days.
Yeah. And it's funny. I mean, we have those moments where it's like awesome. Like, so even this morning, I was going to tell you guys earlier. So we were like getting ready for like kind of our like family like prayer before we got the door or whatever. And I mean, that's chaos. So even just then, if you just thought of this very sweet moment of like the 4 of us just like in perfect unity, like get that right out.
That's where I went.
Yeah.
Not
in Puritan outfits.
Not at all. Not at all. Usually one of them is like screaming. The other one is like, I don't want to. But anyway, we do it. So this morning I was saying
so we start the day with forced prayer.
So this morning I was like, hey guys, so I have this thing going on at work. We're, jumping into our podcast today. And so my son Finn was like, hey, like, yeah, I'll pray today. So he like starts out usually, your typical thanks for today, thanks for family, whatever. And so then like, he just gets into this voice and he was like, and also be with mom while she does season 1, episode 1 of the podcast. Amen. And then it was just like back, then it was just like back to normal. So like you have those moments, but then you also have moments where it's like they're hanging from the chandeliers. Like last night they got into like basically like a fist fight over a Nerf gun where you're like, we're just constantly living in that. Like that is the spectrum. We're either
all within like 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Where do you think the most important direction LCBC is going right now? What do you think the most important and if you would say there's one challenge that LCBC faces or one journey we must go, what do you think that challenge or the focus might be?
Well, I think what comes to mind immediately is the mission of what we're doing doesn't change. We don't have to rethink our vision. Jesus gave it to us. We already talked about it. Go and make disciples. Like we're going to go and introduce more people to Jesus and together fully follow him. We have to, or else we're not honoring and living up to what Jesus asked the church to do. My challenge, I think, and the opportunity is I feel like there's a sense right now, we've got a ton of new people here at our church. We've got lots of people who've been around for a long time. It's a moment to lean in. I feel like it's a moment to lean in right now. We need our people to, when I say lean in, there's no greater investment you'll ever make with your life than an investment in the local church, because the local church is all that's going to last, because it's bringing people to Jesus. And so from your energy, your time, your prayers, your thoughts, your invitations, all that, that's leaning in. That's going, man, this is why we are here. We are here to bring the kingdom of God about in our world, in the marketplace, in our communities, in our schools. And the church is sort of that collective embodiment, right, of that, the collective. It's us as literally a body of Christ saying we're going to bring that about. I told a group yesterday that This is a crazy thought. God has in his divine, infinite will seen to it that we live in 2023. That's not an accident. He has placed us here at this unique moment in history. Why? To reach more people, to bring his kingdom to bear, to introduce more people to Jesus. Now, he didn't put us 100 years. There'll be another group he chooses 100 years from now. In his infinite design and infinite will, he had them for that, but he has us for this, for 2023, right here. That's why you're here. That gets me excited to go, God, what are you doing in our midst? So as we imagine thousands of us who make up LCBC across the state, leaning in, going, God, what do you want from us as a church? How do we live with compassion? How do we make our love easy to see? How do we invite more people to experience? How do we grow? How do I know you more deeply? That's exciting.
Wow. Jace, thank you. Like, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for, like, letting us, because I don't know. I mean, you're a humble guy. So, like, making this all about the questions, asking you was something very vulnerable for you, because it's like, I told you the title was like a seat at the table with Jason Mitchell, and you were like, yeah.
No one's going to want that.
But I do think people care very deeply for you all over the church, and this chance to kind of get to see a different side of you, a side that I count as a blessing that I get to see.
And I felt that, Chad. I felt the love of our church. Jenny and I and our family. Oh my goodness, guys. Our church is so good. Our church is so loving. We've felt that. We have felt prayers and love and people reaching out and letting us know. Like, so I appreciate it. And I receive that. Like, man, I take that. I love our church.
So we're going to wrap up our first ever Live Change podcast. And so for wrap up, I just wanted to give you a chance. Is there anything you want to say? 20 seconds to people that are listening, like, the people that call LCBC home. What do you have to say?
I love you. I love you. And God has got big things for our communities, for our schools, for our places of work, for our families. And we get to go explore that together in the days ahead. And we need you. And we're better with you. And it's exciting. And I love you. I love you. I love you. That's it.
I just want to thank all of our listeners for subscribing to the podcast. And we're going to talk about different things. Like, we're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to talk about some heavy things. But the point of this podcast is now that we're a life changed by Christ, how do we live that change? How do we live changed? And so we're going to ask and answer the questions. Jason will be with us as much as he can be. And Joanna and I will be here. So thank you so much for listening in. And we'll be sure to wait for the next podcast to drop. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to follow the show, send today's episode to a friend, and leave a review. The Live Changed podcast is produced by LCBC Church. LCBC stands for Lives Changed by Christ. We are one church in multiple locations across Pennsylvania. For more information about LCBC, resources from this episode, and ways to grow in your relationship with Jesus, go to lcbcchurch.com.